Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Source. Got another baseball video coming to you. We're coming off a huge night. 6-0 in NHL. I went 2-0 against the spread in NBA. 6-2 total in NBA. We made a ton of money. But there's no playoff NBA tonight, so we're doing baseball. Already dropped the Mets-Phillies video. In this one, though, I'm doing Astros versus Tigers. Let's go.
Welcome to The Source. The Source. Hey, get the Source.
All right, Detroit on the road in Houston. Line opened up with the Astros heavily favored. They were laying minus 174 odds. Early action was definitely on Houston, too. I think it was like 72% of the money on the Astros as of midnight, something like that. Yo, check this out, though. So as the money slowly creeps towards Detroit, the books hate it. This line's moving like crazy all the way down to Houston minus 158. This is as of 1 p.m. Eastern time. So let's cap this game. If you subscribe to this channel, you already know the first step. We're running the numbers through the spreadsheet. Check this out. So as we plug the pitchers in here, Tarik, Skubal versus Jose Urquidy. Look at this. Spreadsheet's telling us that the Detroit Tigers should be favored heavily over the Astros in this game. Now, it's early in the season. We don't have a ton of analytics to work with. The reason for that is clearly pitching. Jose Urquidy's been getting lit up. Tarik, Skubal's off to a great start this year. Detroit's bullpen is way better. We'll get into that. Let's break down this game. So let's start with the Astros, and we'll start with the bats. The question we need to ask is Houston finally finding their groove? If you look at their numbers through April, it's terrible. 661 OPS. I think the batting average was like 241 or 221, something like that. They were awful in April. But finally, in this past series against Seattle, we finally see the Houston Astros bats that we've grown accustomed to seeing. I'm putting the numbers right here up on the screen. I don't know them offhand. But the bats came alive. They scored like 14 runs. So, was that series a fluke? Was that poor play from the Mariners? Or was that the Astros getting hot? This is a question we need answered right now because the Astros are facing Tarik Skubal, who last year he faced the Astros was just one time, right? Went 7 innings, just 1 hit, 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts. Dominated Houston last year, and he's off to a hot start this year. But there is a downside to Tarik Skubal in this spot. This man has an ERA of 5.50 on the road. So even though he's off to a hot start this season, has not been effective on the road, and he's in Houston against an Astros lineup, we know how hot they're capable of getting. Now, the Tigers lineup has not been good. They have not been hitting the ball well, but Jose Urquidy's pitching, and this guy, look at this guy's numbers. He's just been awful. Opponents batting .309 against him, 5.95 ERA, 8.56 OPS, and a 1.45 whip, man. Urquidy off to a terrible start this year. He has never faced this Tigers lineup. That's probably an advantage for the pitcher, not really sure. But this Tigers lineup, like I said, hasn't been good. Against righties, they're in the bottom 6 or 7 in most offensive categories. Did you know that the Detroit Tigers are first in the MLB? Lowest ERA amongst all 30 teams' bullpens? Yes, the Tigers might have the best bullpen in Major League Baseball. Now, Houston's 4th, so they're right there too, but Houston's bullpen does give up a lot of base runners. They just haven't let up a bunch of runs yet. So bullpen edge goes to Detroit. And if you're going to give me Skubal, a starting pitching edge, and the best bullpen in baseball possibly, and a bunch of plus money, yeah, I'm going to be heavily leaning that way. So what am I betting? Now, you might think I'm going to jump on that Detroit +5 money line at +128. But I think that's a little bit of a sucker's bet because Detroit just hasn't been scoring runs in the first half of games. So even though I think Skubal has a good chance of shutting down the Astros, I don't think Detroit's going to score many runs in the first half. So I'm staying off that. The 2 bets I'm going to make in this game, I'm going to bet Detroit +1.5 at -150. There's a reason the books jacked it all the way up to those shitty odds, because they don't want you to bet it. So I'm going to bet that. I'm also going to bet Houston team total under 4.5. Final ticket posted on KyleKirms.com and the Sauce Network app. All the picks for every single sport, props, totals, everything will be on there, so make sure you check that out. Also, if there's any crazy last minute changes, injury updates, money shift, line movement, anything like that, I will definitely keep you posted on my Twitter, Instagram story, and Facebook, so make sure you check one of those 3 platforms before you place your bets. All right, no playoff basketball. How about some baseball? Let's reel in some units tonight. I'll talk to you on Twitter.